I'm Emma, and this is Uhtred, and you're watching Our Baby Way, and this is Uhtred's 7 months update. So I wanted to change location. Usually we're on the sofa when we film this, and talk a little bit about the developments with Uhtred. So he has started babbling a lot more, a lot of combinations. So he says da da da, ba ba ba. He also says ma 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 and na na na, and those happened just recently, which is pretty exciting, right? Also, he has a new vowel. I think he already had and ah, but now he has e. And sometimes he says that when he's hungry and frustrated. It used to be different sounds. Now that's what it is. We also added some new foods. So he's eaten liver, chicken liver, and he's eaten sardines. And so far he seems to like the sardines the most. But I fed him some egg again today, and he also likes that more than I thought he did. Like, I think he's just liking food more. And so it seems like everything he tries he likes more than the last thing. But I think it's just, he's getting the picture of food. He's like kind of doing actual chewing. And I think he likes the texture of the sardines because they're gooey. I've mashed them up into like a goo, but they still have a little bit of texture. They're not a complete puree. So I think that he kind of is figuring out how to chew better with that because there's a little more texture to kind of gum, you know? He's also started getting a flirty face that he discovered that he had with his grandmother, with Jason's mom. And it's like, you know, he'll smile and then he'll kind of go, and like hide his face and look up at you like he's flirting with you, and it's really, really cute. So he does that to her. He does that to now my parents, and he does it to me and Jason too, so it's really cute. Let's see. He hasn't been gaining that much weight. I actually haven't weighed him this time, so I can't tell you how much he weighs. His weight definitely slowed down since 6 months, which is apparently pretty common. At first I was kind of worried. I was like, oh my God, because I weighed him and it seemed like he lost weight, but I weighed him again a couple days later and then he had clearly gained weight, so I think the scale was just wrong. I mean, it's a baby scale, but it maybe was just off, or he was too wiggly or something. Now he is getting leaner. So like, I think he's getting longer and leaner. His like baby fat is starting to spread out. I mean, he still has all the arm rolls and you can see he still has his cheek rolls, but he's starting to kind of lose the stomach fat and get longer in the torso. And that's because he's been doing so much more moving, and like wiggling and that kind of thing. Like he like when he's in his like booster seat, he'll rock back and forth really intensely, like moving and dancing. And he's done it to music before. And if there's like a toy in front of him, he'll rock and like grab it and bite it and let go and like rock again. So he's been really into that. And he's just been like, when I change him and he gets naked, he just like starts flailing like a fish out of water. Like he's just trying to like roll all over the world, but he still hasn't rolled over the hard way. He's rolled over, you know, the way that you can kind of roll over. You just have a big head from stomach to back. Just like, whoa, my head's too big. I went over. But he hasn't yet rolled over back to stomach. Back to stomach. I think he's muscularly capable of doing it. He just like, and he reaches and he goes over, but I think it's his big head. He like hasn't figured out the mechanism of pulling his arm out and kind of moving his head up. And he started also not exactly crawling, but he started bending his knees up under him and kind of scooting, but because he doesn't understand direction, he's kind of scooting backwards. And his chest is off the ground, and sometimes he'll plank, like he'll lift his entire chest and stomach off the ground. So he's really starting to get it. And part of me realizes that maybe because our house is chilly and it's been chilly, that because he's wearing so many layers, that's part of why he's sort of behind, quote unquote, on some of these things, like especially the rolling over, because I think that's between 4 and 7 months is when they're supposed to do that. So technically he's behind on that. But I think it's because he's been jammed into so many layers, because we went to Florida to visit Jason's family and he was just wearing tank top onesies and he was way more wiggly. And I feel like he reached a lot more physical ability just when we were there because he had more freedom to move. And because he was wearing disposable diapers instead of cloth like he usually wears, which can be bulkier, you know, just depending. And so I think that's part of it, is he was just way more flexible. So summertime's going to be awesome. And I think he's just going to like catch up on a lot of the theoretical things he's behind on, or just like, you know, tone all of his strength and his muscles and stuff. Cause at first I thought, oh, he's so big. That's one reason why. And he's so fat. But we were watching home movies of Jason. This is the rocking thing I'm talking about that he likes to do. When Jason was his age, and Jason was way more physical, at least just in the video. Like he was rolling front and back all over the place and like kicking a lot. And Uhtred kicks, but he's a lot more pensive, I think. And his emotions have more to do with like, let me grab it with my hands and think about what this is and explore it with my hands. He's less like, just like, woohoo, kicking and rolling over and kooky. So that's kind of an interesting difference. If it is a difference, it was just a snapshot in Jason's life when he was a baby, so it's hard to say. He's been enjoying more and more tummy time, which he already liked, but now he likes it more because he's more capable of moving around a little, and he's better at controlling, like, you know, what he's doing with toys in his hands. And also, too, now we don't lay, like, a blanket down on the ground. Before, because, you know, we have dogs and we live on a farm, we just decided to remove shoes before we come in now and, you know, try to, you know, just be cleaner, even though we were clean before, but just the floor, especially in the kitchen, which is the tile. We've decided to, you know, now he can be on the actual floor because he's old enough and he can cope with some of those basic dirt germs. And so I think that's helping him too, because he's not slipping around on a blanket, you know, that he was on the ground before. So, also too, he was amazing on the trip. Like, he's really adaptable. He's really good at sleeping wherever. He stayed up later when we were on the trip, but he wasn't like an irritable goofball. He did a really good job going to sleep when it was time, and we just followed the simple routine, and he gets it. He did napping. He actually napped longer because he was tired, but he wasn't grumpy, just learning new things or overwhelmed. He would get a little more tired because of going places all the time, but he really enjoyed everything. And he's a good sport. He's a really good sport. He's not a whiner, really. So also a couple other things is he's really obsessed with spoons right now, banging them, like holding them up in the air, looking at them, putting them in his mouth. I think he's figuring out that that's what they're for. And he's really obsessed with like cups and bottles, but the spoons are easier for him to handle. Let's see, what else? Oh, interestingly, I can clip his fingernails when he's awake. He'll just like let me do it because he thinks it's a little bit funny and it's tickly for him. And he goes, "Hoo," and he just lets me clip his fingernails without wiggling too much, which is crazy. So that's pretty exciting and kind of random. And he's a little bit less into diaper changes. Before he was like really excited about them and never cried. But sometimes he gets a little annoyed if he's already too hungry when I put the like shirt over his head. The other stuff he doesn't care about. But like over his head, sometimes he's like, "Oh," but then he'll recover. But that's pretty new. And then I think that's pretty much what's going on. One new thing is we got these disposable, biodegradable diaper liners that go inside of cloth diapers so that when they start getting more like solid poops, which isn't yet because he's still not eating that much solid food, you like catch the poop and it doesn't like adhere to your cloth diapers and make it harder to clean them because like breastfed baby poop is water soluble, but some of that other poop is not necessarily. It's like harder to deal with and bigger and, you know. So yeah, so I'm excited about those, but we haven't really needed those yet because his poop is pretty much the same. It's just a little smellier and stuff. It's not like that different. So anyway, so that's his 7-month update. Hopefully for 8 months, I'll be able to tell you that he's rolling over fully and doing some crawling forward, even though he's pretty close. He understands the mechanism. He's just figuring it out now. But yeah. Oh, we moved him to his own room last night. And that was a little sad for me, but he did well. He woke up a couple more times, I think, because he was a little out of it, but he wasn't worried about the room, I don't think. He just woke up and was like, "What's going on?" So, and plus we're trying to get back in the routine since coming back from Florida, so it's like a lot of new stuff right now. But he's great. Like I've said in the other videos, it just gets more fun every time. He gets more smiley, more jokey, more babbly, more talky. It's really fun to hear him like babble, and sometimes he'll yell, and it's just really fun to hear his voice. Like, it's pretty special. Like, his voice is his, and it's not like mine. It's not like Jason's, and I can't wait to hear what it's like through his whole life. So thanks for watching, as always, to Our Baby Way. And yeah, we'll see you for the 8 months. Okay, bye.